But right now it's an opening round game here in the Class C Amateur State Baseball Tournament. Hutchinson Huskies against the Kimball Express. Kimball will be the home team, and we'll have that action for you when we come back here to beautiful Jack Ruhr Field in Miesville after this word from the Neighborhood Sports Network.
Baseball, it's America's pastime and Minnesota's passion. The all-new Neighborhood Sports Network, in partnership with the Minnesota Baseball Association, brings you coverage of the 2022 State Amateur Baseball Tournament. Coverage of this great Minnesota tradition is proudly brought to you by The Urgency Room, fast, flexible care. McDonald's, owners and operators of Minnesota and Western Wisconsin. Find your golden opportunity at mcdonalds.com/careers. Xfinity, a better way to watch. Think Bank, meet your money. The Star Tribune, your home for the best prep coverage. And by the Minnesota Twins. Get tickets for Town Ball Night at Target Field on September 10th. Live coverage throughout the Town Ball tourney can be seen right here on the Neighborhood Sports Network. That's NSPN.TV. Welcome to the neighborhood. Now, let's get out to the ballpark.
Out to the ballpark indeed. Beautiful Jack Ruhr Field here in Miesville, Minnesota. Almost like a field of dreams in Minnesota. Everywhere you look out in the outfield, corn all around this field. Beautiful ballpark. What an excellent day for baseball, and what a beautiful sight for this state amateur baseball tournament. Miesville Dundas Faribault acting as our host for this tournament. 16 teams will advance here in this first round. 16 teams will go home. This one matches the second seed out of Region 11, the Kimball Express, against the third seed out of Region 12, Hutchinson. And we are underway as Ben Johnson fires a strike across to Matt Pikowski. Pikowski with a hopper up the middle. Second baseman Friesen over. Makes the play, so Matt Friesen takes that little hopper off the bat of Matt Pikowski and fires it over to Byer at first base. And there's one away here in the top half of inning number one. The Hutchinson Huskies advancing to this state tournament as the third seed out of their region. They draw the second seed out of Region 11 here, the Kimball Express, and Ben Johnson with a curveball strike into Jaden Fleck. Now he drops down. Check swing by Fleck. They check with our first base umpire, and he says no, did not go. Pitch misses off the outside corner. Catcher Cade Markwart, and they have caught the umpire there with that throw back, so you'll hear a lot of that name today. Markwart, 4 in the starting lineup for Hutchinson. We'll get the defense set for you here for the Express. That would be Kimball, not Hutchinson, that features these Markwarts. Cade behind the plate. Now Ben Johnson, 3-1 to Jaden Fleck. Line drive, base hit, so Jaden Fleck turned that pitch around from Ben Johnson, pulled it into left field for a base hit. Fleck, the Hutchinson graduate. Every player on the team other than John DeRock on the original roster for Hutchinson played ball for Hutchinson High School. They do have 3 draftees that you are allowed here in the Class C state tournament. Chopper foul by Tyler Schiller, the left fielder. So defensively for Kimball, behind the plate, Cade Markwart. First baseman Adam Byer. Second base Matt Friesen. Pitch misses outside. Third baseman Scott Markwart. Shortstop Brian Markwart. Outfielders Austin Rule, Brooks Markwart, and Matt Dingman from left to right. So 1 ball, 1 strike now to Schiller. Runner at first. An off-speed pitch there from Johnson is in for a strike. Left-handed hitting Tyler Schiller. We don't need to tell you the high school that they went to, as mentioned. All of them played their high school ball for the Hutchinson Tigers. Johnson drops down there and misses outside. St. Cloud State University, the college ball for Tyler Schiller. Now playing for the hometown team here of Hutchinson. Really a true hometown team here. Pitch just misses off the outside corner. Check swing, 3 balls, 2 strikes. So Jaden Fleck at first. We'll keep an eye over him over at first base on Fleck to see if he goes here at 3-2. Try to stay out of possible double play. But the pitch misses up in the zone for ball 4. Pretty partisan Kimball crowd here today. Unhappy so far with our home plate umpire. Now Jake Wendland will step in. An excellent crowd is gathered for this one. A lot of them underneath this overhang, protected from this beautiful sun splash day here in Miesville. Just underway. Second opening round game in the Class C tournament here at Miesville. Yesterday we saw Class B action here. They've now shifted that tournament over to Dundas, and we get Class C first round action as we pare this down to the final 32 teams. 16 region winners get bys. Line drive out into left field, well hit, but right at Ruhl out there in left field. He takes a step back and hauls it in. So Jake Wetland hit that one right on the button, but right at the left fielder, Austin Ruhl. Ruhl went back, reached up, and made the catch. Kind of got frozen initially, but then read that baseball and caught it. So Marcus Hahn now steps in. South Dakota State University for the college for Hahn. A lot of these Hutchinson Huskies went on to play college ball, as have members of the Kimball Express, and we'll get that information for you as these batters come up to the plate. A lot of good college representation here between these two teams. Curveball misses to Hahn. 0-1. Ben Johnson, the starting pitcher. Curveball swung on and missed. Good sharp breaking ball by Johnson there. Johnson, Malacca High School. The Wolf. And then on to St. Cloud State University to play college ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. For this Class C tournament, you can really get away with some pitching early because you only play 1 game in the first weekend, and then you get a full weekend off before the next game. It's really when you get into that final weekend where pitching gets tested, and now a curveball that hits Hahn in the front leg. He just kind of spun out of the way of that one, but didn't really get out of the way. Just made it look good enough. So that curveball from Johnson that just really didn't break much spun down at that front leg of Marcus Hahn. Hahn initially just threw the bat back and took his base, but now he asked for a little bit of time to get some feeling back into that front leg. So we've got the bases loaded now for Zach Kuzewski. And a strike on the outside corner to Kuzewski. Hutchinson High School to Minnesota Duluth. The Bulldog here tries to get Hutchinson on the board early. Bases loaded. 2 outs. No ball, 1 strike count. Line drive out into right center field. That's going to fall in for a hit. Fleck is going to score. Schiller comes around. He scores. It's a 2 RBI single for Zach Kuzewski. And the Hutchinson Huskies are out early 2-0 here over the Kimball Express. Nice job of going the opposite way there on that pitch up in the zone by Zach Kuzeski. Didn't try to pull that pitch. Probably would have rolled it over if he tried to, but just went with it. Shot it out into right center field, and with 2 outs, Tyler Schiller off with the crack of the bat was able to come around third and score. So 2-0 here for Hutchinson early in this one. 2 hits on the board, so that hit batsman, and it comes back to haunt Ben Johnson as it moved up a second runner into scoring position, and Kuzeski plates them with the 2 RBI single. And now Lane Glasser steps in, takes the first pitch high, and the next one is inside. So 2 balls and no strikes. Johnson works from the stretch here with runners at first and second. Breaking ball off the plate. So 3 balls and no strikes. Marcus Hahn pulled up at second base as the right fielder Dingman got that ball in quickly, but not before Tyler Schiller could score from second. Strike called at the letters to Glasser. Glasser from Hutchinson High School down to St. Peter to play for the Gusties of Gustavus Adolphus College. Trying to help himself here, and called strike. He was ready to toss that bat away and take his base, but now full count, 3-2. Runners will get a running start here at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 away here, top half of the first inning. Hutchinson has scored first. They lead it, and the pitch is fouled away. So Johnson went upstairs with a fastball to Glasser there. So we'll do it again here at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kimball trying to minimize the damage here, find themselves down by 2 runs already. Another foul ball off to the right, so Lane Glasser battling here with Ben Johnson. 3 ball, 2 strike count. He fouls off consecutive pitches from Johnson. That one was a little bit outside of the zone, but able to get enough of it to stay alive, and then caught up to a fastball on the first offering. Now he gets fisted here, a total jam shot down that first baseline, but fortunately for Glasser, it just trickles foul up the line there. First baseman Byer charged, hoped maybe to get that one before it hit that foul line, but no chance as it just trickled into foul territory. And we'll do it again. So 3 consecutive foul balls. If nothing else here, Lane Glasser really making Ben Johnson work. On 3-2 and a pop-up in the infield. Drifting back is Scott Marquardt. He's got a beat on it, reaches up and puts it away. So that'll end the inning for Hutchinson, but they send 7 batters to the plate. They score 2, strand a couple as well. But 1/2 inning of play in the books here from Miesville. It's 1-0 for Hutchinson with Kimball coming to bat. And we'll be back to Miesville after this timeout on NSPN.TV.
PrepSpotlight.tv made history in 2020 by live streaming every game of the Town Ball State Tournament. History is happening again. PrepSpotlight.tv has been great, but it's becoming greater. Introducing NSPN.TV. The Neighborhood Sports Network launches this week with end-to-end coverage of a fantastic Minnesota sports tradition, Town Ball. See every game for a new fan-friendly monthly fee. Join for Town Ball State Tournament games, then stay for the high school and college seasons. NSPN.TV will provide subscribers with an abundant supply of local sports content, featuring live events called by local play-by-play professionals, comprehensive highlights, feature stories, weekly shows, documentaries, and video podcasts. Welcome to the neighborhood. NSPN.TV.
So Hutchinson with a big 2 spot. Big 2-out, 2 RBI single from Zach Kuzeski. Spots their pitcher, Luke, make that Lane Glasser with a 2-run lead. Glasser had an opportunity to help himself at the plate there. Runners at first and second. He fouled off 3 consecutive pitches from Ben Johnson before finally popping out to third base. So defensively for Hutchinson, Glasser pitching, Cody Arlt the catcher, Jake Wendland at first, Adam Katzenmeyer at second, Jaden Fleck at short, Zach Kuzeski at third, Tyler Schiller, Marcus Hahn, and Matt Piakowski left to right in the outfield. And the first pitch from Lane Glasser to Austin Rule is in there for a strike. Line drive, right center field, base hit for Austin Rule. So these teams came with their hitting shoes on here today at Miesville after Matt Piakowski was retired. Jaden Fleck singled for Hutchinson. Tyler Schiller walked, hit batsman, and then a base hit by Kuzeski. So 2 hits in the first inning for Hutchinson, and now right out of the blocks, Austin Rule with a base hit for Kimball. Then Matt Friesen, second baseman, will step in. Friesen swings and loops one foul down the right field line and out of play. Chase for the ball. Youngsters being implored to go chase those balls and bring them back to the concession stand so we can keep balls alive and in play here. Keep this game moving. One good thing about amateur baseball is you get that ball and let's go. Let's play ball. Not a lot of just dilly-dallying around. Dawdling, if you will. They just want to get out there and play some ball and give these crowd, an excellent crowd here today, a good show. Both of these teams advancing into this state tournament, trying to move on. Face one of those top 16 seeds. Now Friesen swings at a pitch in the dirt at 1-1, so 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Matt Friesen. St. Cloud Tech High School and then Ohio University, a Bobcat, playing in the Mid-American Conference. The back, Friesen, and called strike 3. So I don't know if Friesen didn't understand or if that's just kind of his technique when he strikes out looking, because he backed out of the batter's box like he had another strike still left in the strike column, but not so much, as our home plate umpire stood up and called strike 3 against Matt Friesen. So Austin Rule stays right there at first base, and now Cade Marquardt steps in. Cade the catcher, Litchfield High School, and then on to Itasca Community College. He's the son of Scott Marquardt, and then his brothers Brian and Brooks are also part of this lineup for Kimball. So 2 games in a row here in this Class C tournament where we've had 4 relatives. Runner goes, throw to second is on the third base side, and Kitzenmeyer can't get the tag over on Rule, so it's a stolen base for Rule. It was a good quick toss by Arlt down to second, but it was a one-hop throw to the third base side of the bag, so Katzenmeyer couldn't get it and swipe the tag quickly enough to get Rule. So on the stolen base, Rule does get out there to scoring position. Prior game to this, Clinton had 4 Ottomans in the lineup, actually had 2 in reserve as well, and it appears that that's about the same that Kimball has. It's like about 6 Marquardts in the roster here, 4 in the starting lineup. Call strike on the outside corner at 3-0 to Cade Marquardt. So trying to get another base runner here. Cade Marquardt, 3-1. He's got Austin Rule out there at second base. Kimball down by 2 here early, 2-0. Ground ball to short. Charge, going to be a tough play, and it takes a hop up. Hits off the heel of the glove of Fleck. Rolls out into shallow center field. With that ball in front of him, Ruhl didn't want to take off, so he held his position, and going to be an error charged against Marquardt. So on 3-1, Cade Marquardt rolls it over. The error will be charged to Fleck, the shortstop. It'll be the beneficiary of the error is Cade Marquardt. So now runners at first and second for Ben Johnson. Johnson, right-handed batter. He's the starting pitcher here in this one for the Kimball Express. Pitch misses low and away. A backhand there by Arlt. Keep that ball in front. So Kimball trying to answer here. Hutchinson got a clutch. 2 out, 2 RBI single in their half of the first inning. Ground ball to third. It's scooped up on a second for one. That's all they'll get. So good scoop there by Guzeski. He went the short way to Katzenmeyer to get one. Ben Johnson hustling down the line, having to go to his left. Guzeski really only had the one play, and that was to go to Katzenmeyer at second. So they do get the force on Marquardt there. Marquardt erased. Ben Johnson hustling down the line, so he'll take over at first base on the play. Austin Ruhl moves up to third, and Tommy Friesen, the designated hitter, steps in. Friesen, St. Cloud Tech High School, and then Bethel University for college ball. Takes a strike on the first pitch. Swinging a foul back and out of play over our head. It's like the bus is about ready to pull out to head back to Clinton. As the Wilmer Rails scored 11 runs in the last 3 innings to put away Clinton 15-1 in our first game here. And they advanced on. We've got a little conversation going on at home plate. I'm not sure what's going on, but Tommy Friesen is hobbling back to the dugouts. I don't know if he's got a cramp or if this is an injury that is popped up. He took a good cut at that 0-1 offering, fouled it back and out of play, but he is very frustrated right now. It looks like he's holding his right hamstring area. So we're going to have an early substitution in this game. So Friesen, the designated hitter, so clearly there must be some sort of pre-existing issue with Friesen's leg and that he's not playing in the field. And really didn't see it on the swing there, but all of a sudden looked at home plate, and there stood Friesen. He walked over, now hobbled over towards his dugout and just threw his helmet down on the ground and then chucked the bat down as well in frustration. Certainly not frustrated about anything that happened baseball-wise here. He's just frustrated that he's going to have to come out of this game, and he is going to leave a no-ball, 2-strike count to the new hitter coming up here for Kimball. It's going to be Matt Dingman, who initially was listed as the right fielder, but now he will come in and bat basically for himself in that number 5 order in the lineup. So Dingman will come in here with a no-ball, 2-strike count, taking over for Friesen. Dingman, Kimball High School, and then on to St. Thomas University. We'll take over here in the batter's box for Tommy Friesen. Runners at first and third. And now on either of the first 2 pitches did Ben Johnson leave his spot at first base. So first and third, they're just going to go ahead and let Friesen swing away, but Friesen obviously aggravated something with that right hamstring area, and he hobbled off. I saw him being helped down the steps over there, so certainly, hopefully, everything okay with Tommy Friesen, but very, very frustrated as he came off the field. Leaves Matt Dingman, and now step off. They try a little Charlie Brown play, and alertly, Lane Glasser stepped off of the mound, or off of the rubber, so as to not be called for a balk. Feigned a throw towards second, maybe trying to get Austin Rule to take off for home and get the play there, but then they just let Johnson take the base. Not sure if they will consider that a stolen base or defensive indifference, but in any case, Johnson, representing the tying run, is now out at second base, so not surprised to see that sort of a play take place with 2 outs and 2 strikes on the batter, but Hutchinson not falling for it. Hanging curveball for Dingman there. Went up in the zone to get it, but was out in front of it and chopped it foul. So we remain here at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kimball hoping to get a big 2-out run-producing hit to answer the 2-out, 2 RBI single from Zach Kuzeski in the top half of the first. Swung on and missed. A little bit of a fist pump from Lane Glasser after he climbs the ladder on Matt Dingman. Tough for Dingman to come in there with 2 strikes and come in cold. So chopped 1 foul, but then swung and missed. So nothing on the board for Kimball in the run column there. They do get a hit. Strand 2, we're through 1. 2-0 Hutchinson. Back to Miesville after this timeout on NSPN.TV.
All season long, you've gathered with friends, neighbors, and family at ball yards all across Minnesota.
Still going, gone! A home run!
Diamonds that define hundreds of communities. Town Ball binds together our passion for baseball and our hometowns. And on September 10th, the cornerstone of Minnesota baseball, Target Field, will host a party for all those who play, watch, and support Town Ball. The Twins host the Guardians at 6:10 p.m. Prior to the game, the champions will be honored in a ceremony at Town Ball Tavern, and all Town Ballers will be invited down to the field for a special pregame ceremony. Wear your team colors and enjoy a special night at Target Field.
Field Scallon back, has it measured. That's it! Air Freight Unlimited, your Class A state champions.
For tickets to the Minnesota Twins Tip of the Cap to Town Ball on September 10th, visit twinsbaseball.com/townball.
All right, so Hutchinson strands a couple of Kimball Express runners in the bottom half of inning number 1, and they will head to the top half of inning number 2, holding on to this 2-0 lead. Big 2-out, 2-run producing single by Zach Kuzeski. They sent 7 batters to the plate, scored 2. And so it's the number 8 hitter, Cody Arlt, for Hutchinson. Went from Hutchinson High School to Minnesota State Fergus Falls. Curveball is in for a strike, and then a fastball misses down and away. 1-1. Another pitch that misses down and out by Johnson. Johnson had to throw a lot of pitches in that first inning, highlighted by Lane Glasser fouling off 3 consecutive 3-2 pitches before popping out the third to end the inning, but really did force Johnson to extend himself to get out of that inning, and now pitch misses outside, 3-1 to Arlt. And that one misses badly. Johnson maybe tried to overthrow that one a little bit. He needs to understand there's lots and lots of baseball left in this ball game, so they won't have to throw it through the catcher's glove. Had 3-1, challenged that hitter, but he missed low and away. So after getting ahead, strike one, he misses with 4 straight bad ones, and now Adam Katzenmeyer will step in. He squares to bunt. Kind of late putting the bunt down there. Wasn't a full square. He kind of almost looked like he was going to try to drag it down that third base line. I don't think that's what the sign would have called for there. More of a conventional square bunt from the number 9 hitter Katzenmeyer, but he bunted it foul, so Johnson's ahead. 1 strike. Squares again. This time he lays it down, deadens it nicely. Johnson's going to go to second, and the throw is too low. Ticks off the glove of the second baseman, Matt Friesen. I don't know if I'm Johnson. I think the play there is at first. That's just a tough throw to turn and fire it all the way out there to second, and he fired it low. Going to be a sacrifice for Katzenmeyer. He's going to reach on the throwing error. Charge to Ben Johnson. So no at-bat against Katzenmeyer. But Johnson, with that throw to second, frustrated with himself, and then now misses high with a curveball, and again shows some emotion. So right now, Ben Johnson really just needs to take a deep breath, settle down here. Swing and a miss by Piakowski. 1 ball and 1 strike. Katzenmeyer at first. They are creeping in on the right side. First baseman Byer is a good 5 steps inside the line. Shallow fly ball into center field. Coming on and making the catch is Brooke Marquardt. So he got a good jump on that little soft liner out into shallow center field. If Marquardt doesn't get a good break on that one probably falls in front of him for a base hit for Piakowski. But Brooke Marquardt off on the crack of the bat, read that one nicely, made a good running catch, and kept the runners right there at first and second base. So they elected not bunt with the leadoff hitter Piakowski, and Jaden Fleck will step in. Fleck lined a single to left field in his first at bat, and then came around to score on the 2 RBI single from Kuzetsky. That's where we stand here. 2-0 for Hutchinson, trying to add on more here. They got the first 2 runners on base, but a nice running catch by Brooke Marquardt is good for the first out. Ground ball up the middle, attempting to backhand it is Friesen. He misses it. Runner comes around third, and he's going to score. So Cody Arlt scores on the ground ball single off the bat of Jaden Fleck. It just ticked off the glove of Matt Friesen. So the end of Matt Friesen's glove has been very busy this inning. That throw from Johnson off the bunt from Katzenmeyer ticked off the end of his glove and snuck out into shallow center field, allowing Cody Arlt to get to second base. And then now this ground ball that eluded Ben Johnson on the pitching mound ticked off the end of Matt Friesen's glove again out into center field. Aggressive base running by Hutchinson. They sent Arlt. The throw was just up the line a little bit, and Cade Marquardt trying to apply the tag before he had the ball just didn't quite handle that ball, and it ticked away. And Cody Arlt scored run number 3 of the game for the Hutchinson Huskies. Johnson misses high, now 2 balls and no strikes. The runners had to hold their position at first and second, so with that throw coming all the way through and actually getting away from Marquardt, thought that Katzenmeyer might be able to move up to third and Fleck to second, but Cade Marquardt quickly hurried that ball back into the infield and kept those runners right there. But now a 4-pitch walk to Tyler Schiller, and suddenly Hutchinson has a something brewing, and quickly out of the dugout
Now batting for the Hutchinson Huskies
comes the manager for the Kimball Express, and he's going to have a word with Johnson. It really needs to settle Johnson here. I think really things started to come a little bit unraveled for Johnson when he decided to go to second base on the bunt by Katzenmeier. Katzenmeier deadened it nicely, so while it was kind of back towards the pitcher, it's not like it was a rolling bunt that comes to him and really was kind of an easy decision, easy play. Katzenmeier deadened that bunt nicely out in front of home plate. Johnson, maybe just a little over-aggressive, made a bad throw down to second base, and since then he really is kind of showing some emotion on some missed pitches and has now given up a RBI single and a walk to load the bases for Jake Wendland. Wendland lifts one high and deep out into left center field. Going back out there, grand salami time for Jake Wendland. He goes the opposite way to left center field. Really now wind blowing right now, so a good time for Wendland to lift one up and out of here. It is a 5-run inning. And 7-0 for Hutchinson. Jake Wendland with the biggest of big flies. And it's 7-0 quickly here by Hutchinson. Wow, with the blink of an eye, it is now a 7-0 ball game, and Ben Johnson faces Marcus Hahn and misses high, and now again showing some emotion. I don't think he's going to have to miss with many more pitches, and we're going to see the manager for Kimball stride out of the dugout, but Johnson composes himself enough to hook a curveball in there that Hahn chops foul. So they have 1 ball and 2 strikes on the scoreboard. The umpire is not correcting it, so that must be correct. And a foul back behind home plate again by Hahn. Jake Wendland for Hutchinson. Out of Hutchinson High School, no college listed. The left-handed batter lift one up deep and over the left center field fence for a grand slam home run. Right now, capping off a 5-run top of the second inning for Hutchinson and a 7-0 lead for the Tigers. Pitch misses away, and then another one up and in, so 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ben Johnson really needs to settle things down here, try to get out of here with just the runs that he was allowed to this point.
Could be a prize if you bring that foul back.
Does challenge Marcus Hahn, and Hahn fouls it back and out of play. But wow, the 3rd seed out of Region 12, the Hutchinson Huskies. Call strike 3 on the outside corner, so that'll help the mood of Ben Johnson. Out number 2 here in the top half of the second inning.
Huskies, 3rd baseman, number 11,
Zach Kuzeski steps in. Kuzeski had a big opposite field 2-out, 2 RBI single in the first that opened the scoring. So really Hutchinson going the opposite way to produce runs here in this one. Johnson spins in a curveball for strike 1. 4 hits on the board for Hutchinson, but they've parlayed that into 7 runs here through the first inning and 2/3 of batting. Curveball misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 3rd baseman, Kuzeski, fastball misses up. 2 balls, 1 strike. Kuzeski, the Bulldog from Duluth. Fly ball down the right field line. That's hooking towards the line, and that's down for a base hit. Guzewski's going to try for two. The throw does what else? Ticks off the end of the glove of Matt Friesen. Third time this inning that a ball has touched just the end of Matt Friesen's glove. So no opportunity for Friesen to try to make a play on Guzewski here. So again, going the opposite way. Excellent offensive strategy here by the Hutchinson Huskies. They have not tried to pull the ball all that often against Johnson. They're just going with the pitch. Johnson drops down here to Lane Glasser, the number 9 hitter in this inning for Hutchinson. So they've batted around here. They've got a runner out at second base, hit number 5 in the game for Hutch, and a little flare out into left center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Around third comes Guzewski. The throw is cut off at third base by Scott Marquardt. And a little humpback liner base hit out into left field. Ruhl came up with a strong throw, but it was not going to get Guzewski coming around third. So Glasser, helps himself here with an RBI single. And Hutchinson, the Tigers in high school football, one of the powers in high school football, apparently decided to go for two here in the second quarter and lead it 8-0 over Kimball, as the pitch to Cody Arlt, who started this whole inning off with a walk. Scored the first of what has now turned into 6 runs here in inning number 2. Fouls one back and out of play. No balls, 1 strike. Curveball. That looked like that might have caught the corner. Johnson is just beside himself on the mound. He just snatched that ball out of the air, and you could see the shoulders just slunk as though I cannot catch a break here in this one. Curveball, same place. Well, you got to say the umpire is consistent, but 2 balls and 1 strike. Johnson thought both of those pitches caught that inside corner, but our home plate umpire says that they stayed inside, so 2 balls and 1 strike to Arlt. Now Johnson goes away, a swing and a miss, and a wry smile on the face of Ben Johnson there after he gets a strike. Almost as if to say, man, what do I need to do here? They're hitting me all over the ballpark, and I just got to kind of groove one in here. Tries to send that one up and away, so we're full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lane Glasser's going to get a start. So first baseman Byer will play behind the runner Glasser, and he'll be off with the pitch. Swing and foul down the right field line. So again, these Hutchinson Huskies are just making Ben Johnson labor for everything he's getting here. Four hits in the inning, turned into 6 run, but none bigger than the grand slam home run by Jake Wetland. Great diving stop over at third. And the throw back across as the throw from Scott Marquardt pulled Byer off the bag. Glasser never really stopped at second. He kept glowing. Byer's throw back was laid. It ticked away. Good hustle and backup by Brian Marquardt. But they'll rule that a hit for Arlt. And now runners at the corners with 2 out, and Adam Katzenmeyer laid down a bunt in this inning that Johnson tried to go to second and get Arlt at second. Threw it off the end of Friesen's glove, and that really opened the door for this inning for Hutchinson. As they still have runners at the corners. And Katzenmeyer chops that one foul over towards his dugout. 8-0 through an inning and a half here for Hutchinson. Curveball in there for a strike. Johnson shakes his head, kind of wondering where was that a couple of batters ago, or the last batter against Arlt. Arlt hit that ground ball that Scott Marquardt made a great diving stop on. Now fly ball into right field. Dingman drifts over, reaches up, and finally inning number 2 comes to an end as Adam Katzenmeyer flies out to right field to end a 6-run top of the second inning for Hutchinson. And they have jumped out early and often on Kimball here. 8-0 as we head to the bottom half of the second inning, and it's back to beautiful Jack Ruhr Field in Miesville after this timeout on the Neighborhood Sports Network.
You should feel good about where you and your money are headed. We can help you build a better relationship with your money, starting with our free Simply Better checking account. When you open an account, you'll also receive a free gift. Get started today. Think Bank. Meet your money.
Well, don't blink, fans, because the Hutchinson Huskies might put another run up on the board. 8 runs through 2 innings of batting, 7 hits, none bigger than the grand slam home run by the cleanup hitter Jake Wendland. So certainly nothing more that you could ask for than a grand slam home run out of your cleanup hitter. Winner of this one gets the Bluffton Braves, top seed out of Region 14, next Saturday, 1:30 at Faribault. 3 different locations for this Class B and C state tournament as we work our way to Labor Day weekend and Championship Monday. Every pitch of every game here on the new Neighborhood Sports Network. Privilege and honor to bring these games to you. And Kimball up for just the second time here. Scott Marquardt steps in. 2 balls, no strikes, and takes a strike on the outside corner from Lane Glasser. Her ball stays high. So right now Kimball absolutely just needs base runners. Line drive out into left field, but it's hit right at the left fielder Schiller a couple steps in, and Schiller snares that one out of the air. So Scott Marquardt hit that one right on the buttons, but right at the left fielder Tyler Schiller. And Adam Byer will step in. So this is the first time we've seen the bottom half of the order for Kimball, and we've already been through the order twice for Hutchinson in 2 at-bats. Line drive just over the head glove of the leaping Kuzeski and into left field for a base hit. So Kimball with their second hit of the game. Austin Rule led off the game with a base hit. And Adam Byer really turned on that one and pulled it hard down the left field line for a base hit. And we're going to see a pinch runner coming in here for Byer. Be number 17 for Kimball. That's Zach Dingman. Adrian High School for Zach Dingman.
Now running at first base for the Express, number 17, Jack Ruhr.
Dingman will take over for Byer. We'll check and see if Byer doesn't re-enter into the game defensively. Glasser misses away to Brian Marquardt, the shortstop. Brooke Marquardt, the center fielder, stands on deck, so a lineup. 44% Marquardt here. Pitch misses low. So Glasser spotted an 8-run lead here through an inning and a half. Doesn't want to give any free passes. Did fall behind Scott Marquardt 2-0, but came back and got him to line out to left, and now behind 3-0 to Brian Marquardt. So you got three brothers, Brooke, Brian, and Scott, and then Scott is the dad of Cade Marquardt, who is the catcher. Strike called. 3 balls, 1 strike. Certainly a much tighter strike zone than we saw from our first umpire here today in this ball game. First umpire seemed to give a little bit off of the plate either way. This strike zone seems to be a little bit tighter. But that one catches the outside corner at the knees. So 3 balls and 2 strikes now. Would not expect Zach Dingman to be going anywhere here at 3-2 with 1 out, down by 8 runs. The last thing you want to do is start running into outs on the bases, so he will stay put. And a little pop-up down the first base line. Drifting over is Wendland. He is going to have room and puts it away. So at 3-2, Glasser went to a little breaking ball, and he got Brian Marquardt to pop it up over towards the Kimball dugout. Wendland played it nicely, just kind of sauntered his way over there, got underneath it, put up that big trapper mitt and put it away. So 2 away here, and number 9 hitter in the order, Brooke Marquardt, will step in. Swing and a miss by Marquardt on the first offering from Glasser. Glasser, Gustavus Adolphus, Gusty. Looks over at the runner at first. Outside corner for a strike. Brooke Marquardt doesn't like that call. So right now you're starting to see a little bit of frustration coming from these Kimball Express. I mean, there's still a ton of baseball left to be played in this game, so don't want to start hanging your head just yet. Swung on and missed, and again, after striking out the last batter of the inning, Lane Glasser gives a little bit of a spin and a fist pump, so he'll put a 0 up on the board for Kimball, and so Hutchinson will head to the top half of inning number 3, holding an 8-0 lead, and I think we're going to see a new pitcher strolling out here for Kimball. A tough outing today for Ben Johnson. In just 2 innings of work, he'll give up 8 runs on 7 hits. Gives up the grand slam home run to Jake Wendland, but that was not the only issue that he ran into. A couple other big hits. Kuzetsky has a 2 RBI single and a double and a run scored. So more than just Wendland. So for Kimball, it's going to be number 9, Matt Dingman, who is going to come in from right field to pitch. So Dingman was initially slated to be just a right fielder, and with the designated hitter Tommy Friesen having to leave due to a looked like a hamstring issue, he came in to bat. Now he's going to move in and pitch. So we'll have to take a look and see, as he took over the role as the designated hitter. I think I see number 8 out in right field. That was Dingman's position. So Scott Marquardt.
Stays in the game after returning at first base.
Number 5, Brooks Bryan is playing third. So Brian Marquardt moves from short to third. And Johnson looks like he is playing shortstop for Kimball. First pitch swinging. Piakowski hustles it out, but good strong throw there from Brian Marquardt over at third. And he'll get the hustling Piakowski by a step. So if there's one thing that Kimball has been able to do, it's to keep the leadoff batter, Matt Piakowski, off the base paths. 0 for 3 for Piakowski. A 1 pitch and 1 out for Dingman. Off-speed pitch at the letters to Jaden Fleck. Fleck, 2 singles, 2 runs scored, an RBI. So he's been right in the heart of this Hutchinson offense here. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Curveball just misses inside. I think we get the defensive alignment set. Scott Marquardt moves to right. Brian Marquardt moves from short to third, and Ben Johnson plays short. Now a swing and a miss by Fleck, so a strikeout. First time a Hutchinson Husky has gone down via the strikeout. Tyler Schiller will step in. Schiller has walked both times and scored 2 runs. So the classic 0-2-0-0, if you were to look at it in the box score. No official at-bats, but 2 runs scored. Tries to wait back on a breaking ball and shoot it down the right field line.
Those who return them could receive a prize.
But it goes out of play. No balls and 1 strike. So Hutchinson, they're scoring 2 in the first, 6 in the second. Oh, curveball stays up and hits Schiller in the helmet. That'll rattle the cage a little bit, but that ball wasn't thrown very hard at all. The umpire will walk down to first base with Tyler Schiller, but Dingman walked right over there with a smile on his face as if to say, listen, obviously nothing intent there. That's a breaking ball that just hung up, and Schiller tried to duck out of the way out of it, and it just kept breaking right back towards him and ricocheted off of the helmet. That's why they wear that protective helmet. Certainly not like a fastball coming right at the ear hole underneath the chin. It was just a breaking ball. So now make it 3 plate appearances and 3 unofficial at-bats for Tyler Schiller. And here is Jake Wendland, who right now owns the biggest blow of this game, a grand slam home run in inning number 2. That made a 3-0 lead, a 7-0 lead. And then Kuzetsky and Glasser followed with a double and a single to add 1 more in that inning for a total of 6 to make it 8-0. Wetland takes a fastball just off the outside corner, and now 1 down low. So Dingman trying to really move that ball around the zone here, but just missing with the first 2 offerings. 2 balls, no strikes. And that one misses low and away. So again, what looked like a potentially nondescript inning getting the first 2 batters and then 2 strikes on Tyler Schiller, but a curveball that curved to the top of Schiller's helmet, and now 3-0 to Wendland, but a strike called there. 3-1. So Dingman, it doesn't look like he relies on speed. I think he's more of a crafty lefty who just tries to move the ball around. Chopper to short. Johnson will play it. Underhand toss to Friesen. That one goes into Friesen's glove, not the tip of it, which we had an issue with the previous inning. So, a 0 on the board for Hutchinson.
Twins welcome Cleveland. To join in the celebration at Target Field, go to twinsbaseball.com/.
That'll do it in the top half of the 3rd inning. Hutchinson finally doesn't put a run up on the board, and we'll head to the bottom half of the 3rd. 8-0 Huskies when we come back to Jack Ruhr Field.
Fast and flexible care. Count on the urgency room for expert medical care when you need it most. Visit us in person. Broken bone, chest pain? We're in Eagan, Vadnais Heights, or Woodbury. Online care. Sinus infection? Strep throat? We offer easy online care. Major to minor, we can provide the level of care you need. Visit urgencyroom.com. Mobile check-in now available.
So Matt Ruley will step in, leadoff batter for Kimball. Takes a pitch off the zone from Glasser, and that one misses inside. Glasser has kind of gotten away with falling behind some batters here in this one, been able to come back. Rolls over a curveball. It's going to get underneath the glove of the 3rd baseman, Kuzeski. Fleck will knock it down, but absolutely no play there. And Austin Ruley has his 2nd hit of the game. 2 of the 3 hits for Kimball belong to Austin Ruley. Ruley, Kimball High School, and then on to St. Cloud Technical College for the Cyclones. 2 for 2 is Ruley, and he'll hand it off to Matt Friesen, and Friesen lifts one foul off to the right, not a play. As mentioned, Friesen, the Ohio Bobcat in the Mid-American Conference. Down, no balls and 1 strike to the Gustavus Gusty. Lane Glasser, another ball shot foul. Return those balls to the concession stand for a prize. Did you hear that? They want to get those baseballs back in and keep us in balls and in play. No balls and 2 strikes. They'll check on Ruley over at first. Wendland had to just knock that one down. Courtesy throw over there. Fully do not expect that Austin Ruley is going anywhere. Down 8-0 here. They need base runners in the worst of ways, and another foul back and out of play. So Austin Ruley wearing out that right side here with foul balls, 3 straight for Matt Friesen. Time called at home plate. The way Friesen jumped out of the batter's box, I'm going to guess that that was the catcher Arlt who requested that timeout. Umpire quickly jumped up. Oftentimes they'll point down at the catcher to let everybody know that it was the catcher who requested that time. So ahead 8-0. Lane Glasser not wasting any pitches here ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. He's just coming right at Matt Friesen. And Friesen fouled off 4 consecutive offerings from Glasser. Glasser continues to take a peek over there at Ruley. Curveball misses off the outside corner, but good pitch there as he kind of had Matt Friesen in swing mode. And Friesen, we're thinking fastball there. Something off speed, up in the zone. Maybe you can get him out in front of that one, get him to roll it over, but Friesen just let that one go by, and curveball just misses low there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here we play bottom half of inning number 3. Hutchinson jumped all over Kimball with 2 in the first and 6 in the second. Pitch misses inside, so now Friesen has worked the count full. So good battle here. Friesen fouled off the first 4 pitches, so this will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat for Matt Friesen. It's a curveball, and it's called strike 3. Friesen not happy there. Kind of just got froze by that breaking ball from Glasser. After watching 3 bad ones, after being in swing mode, he kind of got in look mode and looked at call strike 3 for the first out here of the bottom half of the 3rd inning, and Cade Marquardt will step in. Marquardt reached base on an error by the shortstop Fleck. Fleck tried to make a running scoop of a ground ball off the bat of Marquardt, and it snuck underneath his glove, was charged with an error, but Marquardt was stranded at first base. Actually, he was forced out on a fielder's choice ground ball by Ben Johnson, and Ben Johnson was stranded at second base, actually. And foul ball back and out of the play to the right. Even it up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Cade Marquardt, number 3 hitter in the lineup for Kimball. That pitch is in the dirt, blocked nicely there by Arlt. Really not even holding Austin Ruley fully on base. Now the first baseman, Wendland, will saunter back over there and hold Ruley on. That last pitch, he was in front of the base. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Runner goes, and not being able to make the exchange is Arlt. So understanding that they weren't paying a whole lot of attention to him, Austin Ruley will go ahead and take second base. That takes the double play out of order, at least the conventional ground ball double play. And it opens up a hole on the right side of the infield as Katzenmeyer is sneaking over to try to keep Ruley a little bit close. And now that ball ticks off of the elbow of Marquardt. Our home plate umpire didn't jump up and kill that ball. So on the cell of the hit batsman, Cade Marquardt will get first base. And Ben Johnson will step in. Johnson now has moved over to the shortstop position, started the game at pitcher. So Kimball really just wants to chip away here at this 8-run lead. They have runners at first and second. Johnson gets jammed on that one and just squirts it foul down the right field line. So Glasser gets ahead of Johnson. Johnson grounded into a fielder's choice to the shortstop Fleck. Hustling down the line, no throw to try to double him up. Made it as far as second, but got stranded there. Now pitch low in the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ben Johnson. Glasser continuing to work from the stretch here with runners at first and second. Curveball on the outside corner for a strike. Johnson showing some discipline there. I wouldn't have been surprised for him to make a comment towards the home plate umpire to say, why didn't I get that pitch when I was pitching? But he just stepped out, composed himself, now steps back in, tries another curveball. That one spins out of the zone. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Johnson tries to get something going here for Kimball. Rolls it over to third. 1 play, it'll be to first. And Kuzetsky makes a strong throw over to Wendland. They do get the out at first base on Johnson. So the little slow chopper towards third. Good smart play by Kuzetsky there. Get the out that you can get. You've got 8 runs in your hip pocket. So while the runners do move up 90 feet apiece and there's 2 runners in scoring position, they do get out number 2 of the inning. And Matt Dingman will step to the plate. So Dingman, left-handed thrower, right-handed batter. Don't see that a lot in baseball. Dingman struck out after he came in with a 2-strike count. Now a high pop-up in the infield. Shortstop Fleck calls for it, and he puts it away. And Lane Glasser strands another 2 runners, so that's 5 runners stranded through 3 innings here for Kimball, and they certainly cannot afford to continue to leave runners out on the base paths. Down 8-0 here through 3 innings of play, and Hutchinson will come up here in the 4th trying to add on some more. You're watching the Minnesota State Class C Amateur Baseball Tournament on NSPN.TV.
Star Tribune covers high school sports as passionately as you live them. Don't miss a beat on the games you love. Check out Star Tribune all day, every day for the latest prep news, scores, and so much more.
Daryl Kazepka of Lonsdale. The Glenn Carlson 2022 award inductees are Tom Melchior of Belle Plaine and Randy Rothstein of Roscoe. The induction banquet will take place on Sunday, September 17th at the River's Edge Convention Center in St. Cloud, the home of the Minnesota Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame Museum. Tickets to the banquet can be ordered by downloading a form from the Hall of Fame website, mnamateurBaseballHOF.com. Tickets can also be ordered from Hall of Fame Secretary John George by sending an email to
Matt Dingman.
HOF@gmail.com. Congratulations to this year's inductees.
Back out for another inning of work. He was able to hang a 0 on Hutchinson
Leading off the top of the 4th inning,
in the 3rd, even though he hit Tyler Schiller in the head with a pitch. But he got Jake Wendland to roll over a ground ball to shortstop and get the force. Faced just 4 batters. Certainly very different than the outing from Ben Johnson, the starter, who faced 20 batters in just 2 innings of work. Hard ground ball after the first pitch spun out of the zone by Marcus Hahn. Hahn hit by a pitch and struck out looking. in the second inning, where Hutchinson sent 11 batters to the plate. So Johnson faced 18 batters in 2 innings as Hutchinson sent 7 to the plate in the first. Line drive out into right center field, hustling over and not able to get it with a diving attempt is Scott Marquardt. And Marcus Hahn is in with a leadoff double. And once again, another Hutchinson Husky going the opposite way and finding a gap out there. Scott Marquardt gave chase, made an excellent diving attempt at the ball, but again, seems like in a game of inches, those inches are not going the way of the Kimball Express today. Talked a little bit about how in that second inning, 3 separate balls just ticked off of the glove of the second baseman, Matt Friesen, and now this one just eludes the glove of Scott Marquardt in right. 2-hop ground ball to third. Brian Marquardt will check the runner back, so first pitch swinging. Zach Kuzeski, who was 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs coming into that at-bat, just rolled it over to third.
Pitcher number 10, Wayne Glasser.
So doesn't get Hahn over to third base. Again, you're up by 8 runs, but in amateur baseball here in the state tournament, the 10-run rule is in effect. So really, it would behoove Hutchinson to try to play this game like they're ahead maybe 2-0 or 1-0 versus 8-0 until they potentially could get that golden run, as we like to call it in the business, where you're ahead by 10 or more runs in the first 7 innings. If you can complete that lead through 7 innings, the game would be called on the 10-run rule. So with a runner at second, Glasser grounds it off of his front foot, spins out. Matt Dingman will retrieve it, but he'll have to give it to the umpire, who will give him a new one. Actually, the umpire's just going to look at it, and we'll put it back into play. So the men in gray here, this crew, seen all different colors. Black, the old conventional blue that the umpires wear, and now this crew going with a gray look. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count to Glasser. Chopper, if Dingman can get it here. All right, I believe we are back here now. We'll get this score updated for you properly. We have runners at first and second. 2 ball, 1 strike count to Cody Arlt. Lane Glasser just chopped an infield single on the left side. Now 3 balls and 1 strike. So 3-1 now to Arlt. Runners at first and second. And that pitch misses just up and in. So a walk will load the bases here. Dingman looked like he just tried to
Coming to the plate for the Hutchinson Huskies, second baseman, number 5.
guide that one in, but missed it up and in. So Katzenmeyer will step in. Bases loaded here. First pitch is in there for a strike. Going to come home here on the chopper. They get one there, and it's a 5-2-3 double play to end the inning. So a chopper to Brian Marquardt. He came home to Cade Marquardt, and he fired a strike down to Zach Dingman. So a 5-2-3 double play will end the top half of the fourth inning.
Proud to be the official baseball of the MBA. Rawlings, the mark of a pro.
So they got Katzenmeyer. Hit a little chopper down to Brian Marquardt at third. He made the smart play, came home, got the out there, and then Cade Marquardt fired a strike down to Zach Dingman at first base, and it's an inning-ending double play. We're trying to work out the kinks here in this score bug for you. All right, so we'll head to the bottom half of inning number 4. Hutchinson, bases loaded, 1-out situation, but a big pitch by Dingman. Gets a ground ball to third, and they turn the 5-2-3 double play. Kind of talked about it in the first game as well. If you weren't with us for that one, just have seen some crazy things happening here at the ball yard today. In our first game, we did see another batter get hit in the helmet by a pitch. We saw a balk get called. We saw catcher's interference. Now a 5-2-3 double play. So lots of action when you come out here to the amateur ballpark or join us here on NSPN.TV for all of this exciting state tournament action. Scott Marquardt steps in. He started. Actually, he moved out to right field, so it was Brian Marquardt, his brother, who started that 5-2-3 double play. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Now that one misses, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. 8 runs, 9 hits now for Hutchinson. They finally have eclipsed their run total in the hit total. Early on, they had 7 runs on just 4 hits up on the board, but when one of your hits is a grand slam home run, that will add up the run tally pretty darn quickly, and they got just that from their cleanup hitter, Jake Wendland, in a 6-run second inning that has spotted them to this 8-0 lead, and now a curveball that Scott Marquardt turns on, lifts it high into the air and fouled on the third base line.
Thanks again for bringing all foul balls.
Kuzetsky
for a prize.
gave chase, but really no chance to get over and get that one. It'll be a youngster who will go grab that and get their quote-unquote prize from the concession stand. I could kind of go for a bag of popcorn right now, so I might just throw off the headset and go chase one of those foul balls. I got no chance up here with a big wire screen in front of me. Swing and a miss by Scott Marquardt. And Lane Glasser wins that battle there. Gets Marquardt on a swinging strike. 5 strikeouts now in the game for Glasser.
Correction, Matt Dingman.
And it's Zach Dingman
He did it.
who will step in. Byer was lifted for the pinch runner, Dingman, and Dingman has stayed in the game to play first base. Now Dingman will bat here. So not sure what the situation was with Byer. He lined a hard base hit. Was lifted for the pinch runner. And Zach Dingman has stayed in the game. Looks at 2 straight strikes from Lane Glasser here. Check swing over towards the Hutchinson dugout. The rattle is off the cage over there. And we'll stay right here at no balls and 2 strikes. Bottom half of inning number 4. It's been all Hutchinson so far in this one. 8-0 for the Huskies. They blew it open with a 6-run second inning. And then Kimball so far stranded 5 base runners through their first 3 at-bats. That one ricochets off the glove of Arlt back to the backstop. So Glasser really trying to get Dingman to chase one up in the zone there. So high that his catcher Arlt had a difficult time reaching up and getting a glove on it. The curveball misses off the outside corner. Zach Dingman took a long, hard look at that one. Helped convince the umpire that that was off the plate. Line drive, base hit up the middle. So Glasser again turns to Arlt and pats himself on the chest saying, my bad, not a good pitch at 1-2 there. Really left it over the heart of the plate. And Zach Dingman lined it for a base hit, so that number 7 spot in the order between Byer and Dingman. 2 for 2, 4th hit of the game for Kimball. They've had base runners in each of their 4 at-bats so far, but stranded 5 base runners and have a runner at first with 1 out here in the 4th. And Brian Marquardt will step in. Swing and a miss by Marquardt. He's got an all-white bat, looked like an aluminum bat. Like back in the good old days of aluminum bats. We certainly are a fan of the wood bat here in amateur baseball. Kind of just brings everything back in because it seems like the hitters had a distinct advantage over the pitching in amateur baseball for a while there. And now with the wood bats, it's really kind of leveled things out. A 1-1 strike to Brian Marquardt as that pitch was in the dirt. Arlt went down and blocked it nicely. They do hold Zach Dingman on over at first base. Curveball is in there for a strike. Glasser, good sharp breaking ball there. Started it out at the center of the plate and just caught the outside corner, so really not much Brian Marquardt could do with that pitch. Just lets it go for strike 2. Hope to get a better one here in the dirt. Arlt backhands that one, knocks it down. But it stays there in front of him, so Zach Dingman certainly doesn't want to take any chances on the base pass here, down by 8 runs. So stayed right there, and a fastball just off the outside corner. Brian Marquardt really had a thought about going after that one, but rose up and just held up in time to not chase that one up and out of the zone. So full count here. And misses down and in, so another base runner. 2 base runners in the first, 2 base runners in the third, 2 more base runners here in the 4th. So let's see if Kimball can chip away at this 8-run deficit. Certainly gained a little momentum after that 5-2-3 inning double play to get out of a bases loaded 1-out jam in the top half of this inning. And that one's in the dirt, so Glasser overthrowing a little bit here, it seems like. No reason to get too picky here at 8-0. Certainly don't want to give any free passes if you don't have to. to the Kimball Express and allow them to get back into this game. But that pitch misses down low. So that's the first walk that Glasser has given up. He did hit Cade Marquardt with a pitch, but just the one walk so far. 2 ball, no strikes. Good aggressive swing by Brooks Marquardt there. So 2-1 now. Middle infield at double play depth. Kusetsky even with the bag at third. Fly ball, shallow left field. Calling for it is the shortstop Fleck. He'll put it away. And out number 2 is a pop-up to shallow left field that the shortstop Fleck took charge right away of that ball. Called for it, and Schiller, rather than coming racing in at that baseball and maybe distracting Fleck, just gave way and let Fleck make the play. So good communication there between Fleck, the shortstop, and Schiller, the left fielder. The 2 away now. Austin Ruley steps in. Ruley 2 for 2 on the day, so opportunity here to get Kimball on the board with Zach Dingman out at second base. Brian Marquardt over there at first. And a curveball misses. Up and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Ruley thought about going up after a high fastball, but held up. So Ruley, the Cyclone of St. Cloud Technical College. Ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Lifts a fly ball shallow right field, drifting back, getting over there and making the catch is Wendland. So a good time for Glasser and Hutchinson to retire Austin Ruley. It's a pop foul to the first baseman, Wendland. 7 runners left on base now through 4 at-bats for Kimball. They remain behind here, 8-0. We head to the top half of inning number 5. Top of the order for Hutchinson. We'll have it for you when we come back to Jack Ruhr Field in Miesville.
You should feel good about where you and your money are headed. We can help you build a better relationship with your money, starting with our free Simply Better checking account. When you open an account, you'll also receive a free gift. Get started today. Think Bank. Meet your money.
Leading off the top of the 5th inning for the Hutchinson Huskies, number 4 right fielder, Matt Piowski.
Hey, Matt Piowski. One thing, as mentioned, that Kimball has been able to do is keep the leadoff batter, Matt Piowski, off the base paths. Takes a strike. Piowski, Hutchinson, and then down to Winona to play for the Cardinals of St. Mary's. Hopper and a tough hop off of the lip of the grass. Third baseman Brian Marquardt watches it trickle between his legs and then looks down and just stares at that lip of the grass. That ball hit
Now batting for the Huskies, shortstop number 2,
slid underneath of his glove. Haven't seen him put an official scoring up on the board yet. Still at 9 hits, so I think that's going to be an error charged on Marquardt there, even though it was a very tough hop to read. Jaden Fleck will step in. Fleck squares to bunt, but pulls back on a pitch that's outside the strike zone. Fleck, 2 singles, 2 runs scored, and an RBI so far in this one. Line drive. Pulled that one hard into left field, similar to his base hit in the first inning.
Now batting for the Hutchinson Huskies, number 21.
Turned on that little off-speed offering from Matt Dingman. And he yanked it into left field for a base hit, so now runners at first and second. 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Schiller, Wendland, and Hahn due up here for Hutchinson. 8-0 lead, trying to tack on more here. Dingman steps off, asks for Cade Marquardt to go through another set of signs with a runner at second base. Line drive, base hit into center field. Bukowski had to wait up to see if that ball was not going to be caught by the shortstop Ben Johnson, but it got over the head of Johnson. And I think here what we're seeing is the second and third time through the order against Dingman, who really doesn't rely on an overpowering fastball, that Hutchinson is starting to time up Dingman a little bit. That's consecutive hard hit balls. You know, the ball by Bukowski was not all that hard hit. It was hard hit enough where on the second hop it hit the lip of the grass, snuck under Brian Marquardt at third, and so now I think the last thing Kimball wants to see is Jake Wendland up with the bases loaded, because the last time they saw that, they saw Wendland unload the bases with a shot out to left center field that really blew this game wide open. Took a 3-0 lead and made it 7-0. Curveball in there for a strike, so Dingman ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. It appears that Wendland might be more of a fastball style hitter, so he's having a difficult time timing up Dingman. Kimball has the infield in on the dirt, or on the grass here. They'll try to cut off another run at the plate. Last inning they were able to do so, got out of a bases loaded situation with a 5-2-3 inning-ending double play. Now pitch misses, ticks off the end, a glove of Cade Marquardt, but he's able to scamper and get it in time before Bukowski can come down the line at third. Defensive swing by Wendland there. So interesting to see, because Wendland went out to left center. A pitch off the plate, possibly a pitch that you want to go the opposite way with, and really Wendland just tried to do anything to get a bat on that one and stay alive. Oh, curveball stays way up in the strike zone, or in the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Dingman's going to blame the baseball and ask for a new one. Fortunate for Dingman and Kimball that one also didn't ricochet off of the head of Jake Wendland. We've already seen one player hit in the head by a spinning curveball. That one certainly had potential mark on the helmet of Jake Wendland, but he was able to get out of the way. So he'll now see a pitch at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, with the infield in, Wendland looking to just drive something hard on the ground maybe. That pitch is off the zone outside, so we go full here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now no place to put Jake Wendland here, so Matt Dingman's potentially going to have to challenge Wendland at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Working from the stretch. That pitch misses outside. Ball 4, a bases loaded walk. Boy, from this vantage point, hard to see where that pitch missed.
Coming to the plate for the
A whole lot of negative reaction from Dingman or the catcher, Cade Marquardt. And a long, slow saunter out of the dugout from Kimball. It looks like we might be getting a new pitcher coming in here. And we will await the decision here. That Dingman is still standing on the mound, but it looks like Zach Dingman has headed to the dugout to take off his first baseman's mitt and potentially grab a regular fielder's mitt. That would mean that he would potentially be coming in to take over for Matt Dingman. The dugout can't be that deep. This is not like the Metrodome where you can get down into the deep bowels of the Metrodome. They just have a dugout, so I don't know if he can't find his glove or what the situation might be here, but we all just kind of stand around and wait. It's a 9-0 game here. We're in the top half of inning number 5. There's nobody out and the bases are loaded. So Hutchinson really looking to potentially get to that double-digit lead. And I'm wondering after all of this.
Town Ball night with the Twins on September 10th.
Now I see we do have a new pitcher on the mound, and while he warms up, we'll take a break and we'll come back to set it up for you after this.
PrepSpotlight.tv made history in 2020 by live streaming every game of the Town Ball State Tournament. History is happening again. PrepSpotlight.tv has been great, but it's becoming greater. Introducing NSPN.tv. The Neighborhood Sports Network launches this week with end-to-end coverage of a fantastic Minnesota sports tradition, Town Ball. See every game for a new fan-friendly monthly fee. Join for Town Ball State Tournament games, then stay for the high school and college seasons. NSPN.tv will provide subscribers with an abundant supply of local sports content, featuring live events called by local play-by-play professionals, comprehensive highlights, featured stories, weekly shows, documentaries, and video podcasts. Welcome to the neighborhood, NSPN.tv.
A fly ball out into center field off the bat of Marcus Hahn. Hustling in is Brooks Marquardt. He makes the catch. I've really seen it all now here today. We had a player just disappear from the field. The manager went out to the mound. I thought we were going to have a pitching change. The first baseman, Zach Dingman, literally pulled a ghost act and disappeared, was gone for a good minute, and came back out with his first baseman's glove on, and Matt Dingman stayed up on the pitching mound, and he threw a pitch to Marcus Hahn, and he popped it up into shallow center field. Long run for Brooks Marquardt. He made the catch. So one away here now. Still a 9-0 lead for Hutchinson as Zach Kuzetsky steps in. Kuzetsky a single, a double, run scored, 2 RBIs in the game for Kuzetsky, and now an opportunity here for another RBI chance. First pitch is in for a strike, and then a ball misses low in the dirt, so even things up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Kuzetsky, one of the hitting stars so far in this one for Hutchinson in that 6th spot in the batting order. Pitch misses off the outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. So Dingman, as mentioned, doesn't have overpowering stuff, so he really has to kind of make sure he doesn't leave anything over the heart of the plate. Tries to nibble away at those corners. Chopper to third base. It's cut off. They'll get the out at home. Good play by Brian Marquardt. Good hard slide at the plate by Jaden Fleck. So Kuzetsky will reach on a fielder's choice, but
pitcher number 10, Lane Glasser.
With the bases loaded here and nobody out so far, just 1 run as a fly out to shallow center and now a ground out to third base. Good job of cutting that off by Brian Marquardt. Schiller will move up to third. Wendland to second. We remain here at 9-0. A pitch misses down and in. So the only run that's been plated so far in this inning was a bases loaded walk to Jake Wendland, his 5th RBI of the game. That one a little more free than the grand slam home run. Line drive, base hit into center field. That's going to get 1 run in. They're going to hold up the runner at third. The throw will be cut off at home plate. So Lane Glasser with his 3rd hit of the game. He'll drive in Tyler Schiller from third. That makes it 10-0.
Catcher number 7, Cody Arlt.
For Hutchinson. Glasser's 2nd RBI of the game. Wendland moves to third. They held him up. Kuzetsky at second, and now Cody Arlt. 2 walks and a single in the game for Arlt. Curveball in there for a strike. So they've kind of turned the baseball over to Matt Dingman here in relief of Ben Johnson. He's in his 3rd inning of work. Giving up 2 runs here. Did put zeros on the board in the 3rd and 4th inning, and now ahead of Cody Arlt. No balls and 2 strikes. Fastball up high. A little more pop on that fastball than we've seen from Dingman. Really relies on the off-speed stuff to keep those hitters off balance. When those hitters can stay back, they've been able to hit some balls hard, especially here in this inning. Swing and a miss, so that'll do it. Arlt checks with the home plate umpire to see if that would have been a strike, but 8 more batters head to the plate, and 2 come across to score, so Hutchinson now leads this one 10-0. Head to the bottom of the 5th, back to Jack Ruhr Field on NSPN.TV after this timeout.
You should feel good about where you and your money are headed. We can help you build a better relationship with your money, starting with our free Simply Better checking account. When you open an account, you'll also receive a free gift. Get started today. Think Bank. Meet your money.
Such news! It's everything I ever wanted.
Lane Glasser out there for another inning of work. He's given up base runners in every inning against Kimball, but stranded all 7 base runners who have reached base here.
Leading off the bottom of the 5th for the Kimball Express, second baseman, number 25,
Matt Friesen struck out looking in both of his first 2 at-bats here. We'll try to solve the puzzle that has been Lane Glasser. Line drive over the head of the shortstop, Fleck it into left field for a base hit. The first pitch swinging, Matt Friesen.
Coming to the plate for the Express.
Lines a hit out into left center field. And Cade Marquardt will step in. The winner of this one will advance into the round of 32. So we have 16 first round games, 16 byes, rounding out a field of 48 teams. Double play ground ball to second, over to Fleck for 1, on to Wendland for the 4. 6-3 double play. So Katzenmeyer with a little backhanded flip to Fleck. Fleck with a good turn. Fires a strike over to Wendland. And in one pitch, the leadoff single from Matt Friesen is erased. 4, 6, and 3 for the double play, the pitcher's best friend. And Glasser comes right back at Ben Johnson. Johnson has reached on a fielder's choice and grounded out to third. That pitch misses low after a strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Glasser let that one go and kind of stood like a statue, knowing that he didn't follow through properly on that one. And left it up in the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now down low, 3-1. So after getting ahead of Johnson with strike 1, Glasser has missed with the next 3. He'll have to come at Johnson. Johnson drives one out into right center field, but drifting over is Diakowski, and he puts it away. So they don't strand a runner that inning, but they see one erased on a 4-6-3 double play.
And that inning of play was brought to you by Max Bat, the official bat of the Minnesota Baseball Association.
We'll head to the top half of the 6th inning. Hutchinson leads by 10. Looks like a new pitcher for Kimball. We'll get you that information when we come back here to Miesville in the Minnesota State Class C baseball tournament after this word on the Neighborhood Sports Network.
Fast and flexible care. Count on the urgency room for expert medical care when you need it most. Visit us in person. Broken bone, chest pain? We're in Eagan, Vadnais Heights, or Woodbury. Online care. Sinus infection? Strep throat? We offer easy online care. Major to minor, we can provide the level of care you need. Visit urgencyroom.com. Mobile check-in now available.
Star Tribune covers high school sports as passionately as you live them. Don't miss a beat on the games you love. Check out Star Tribune all day, every day for the latest prep news, scores, and so much more.
Leading off the top of the 6 for the Hutchinson Huskies, number 5, second baseman, Adam Katzenmeyer.
So Adam Katzenmeyer will step in. So number 9 hitter in the order for Hutchinson, and this is his 4th time to the plate here in just the top half of the 6th inning. And the new pitcher here is Andy Dingman. Gets a strike on the first offering, then misses inside with the next. Andy Dingman, Kimball High School, no college listed for Andy Dingman. Rolls over a ground ball. Cutting it off is Brian Marquardt, makes a good throw to first. So good play by Brian Marquardt there, because if that one gets through him and Johnson has to field it.
Batting next for the
Would be a
Hutchinson Huskies
very
right
difficult
fielder,
throw
number
for
4,
Johnson.
Matt
We know
Miesville.
Johnson can throw hard, but would have been very difficult for him to throw out Katzenmeyer if Brian Dingman doesn't get that one cut off. And turn it back over to the top of the order here, and Matt Piakowski. Pitch misses low. Piakowski reached base on an error and scored a run after going 0 for 3, so officially 0 for 4 on the day, but does have a run scored. One of 10 runs for the Hutchinson Huskies. Jaden Fleck has scored twice. Tyler Schiller has scored 3 times. Zach Kuzetsky has scored a run. Cody Arlt has scored a run. Adam Katzenmeyer has scored a run for Hutchinson. Jake Wendland with 5 RBIs. Chopper to short. Johnson scoops it up. Little underhanded toss to the first baseman, Zach Dingman, and that will take care of Piakowski. So 0 for 5.
Shortstop number 2, Jaden.
The top of the order for Piakowski. And Jaden Fleck will step in. 3 hits, 2 runs scored for Jaden Fleck in this one. Drove in a run with a single in the second. They check on the first offering, and they do say that Fleck went. Fleck, Hutchinson, Minnesota for the high school, and then Southwest State Marshall for the college ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ingman misses away with that offering, 2-1. 2 in the first, 6 in the second, 2 in the fifth. Adds up to 10 for Hutchinson. Nothing but goose eggs in the home run column. 5 hits for Kimball. Fleck turns on one, hits it out to left field. Drifting back is Brian Marquardt, and he puts that one away. So the first 1-2-3 inning for the Kimball Express. And we head to the bottom half of inning number 6. It's a 10-0 lead for Hutchinson. So, first round games being completed today across the state. Waconia and Faribault. In Faribault took on Union Hill, so really kind of a battle of a couple of strong tradition teams there going at it in the first round with Waconia and Union Hill. Right here, Hinckley and Richmond are set to take battle in our next game here at Jack Ruhr Field in Miesville. Raymond Rockets take on the Wanamingo Jacks at Faribault. That's slated for a 4:30 start. Ada and Plato are in action right now in Faribault. And the winner of this one, as mentioned,
For the Kimball Express, number
takes on
14,
Bluffton.
Cody Leiter.
Looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter here for Matt Dingman. Like it's going to be number 14 for Kimball, Cody Leiter. That spot has been occupied by 3 different players. Tommy Friesen made it through 1 pitch, or 2 pitches. Fouled it off and must have pulled a hamstring because he hobbled off the field. and was replaced by Matt Dingman, who had started out in right field. Came in to pitch. Big cut there by Cody Leiter. Misses. Lane Glasser back out on the mound. Low and away. Evens the count up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a foul tip to the glove of Arlt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Curveball fouled back to the screen right in front of us here. Remain here at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fastball up in the zone. 2-2. Pinch hitter, Cody Leiter. Oh, that pitch just misses inside there. And ball 4 for Cody Leiter. So Leiter, after falling behind in the count,
Kimball Express, third baseman, number 8, Scott Buckwart.
Works his way into a walk, so it's a leadoff base runner. Nothing new for Kimball to have runners on base. They got a leadoff runner on in the first, leadoff runner on in the third, now leadoff runner on here in the 5th and the 6th. But they've yet to be able to get one across home plate. Stranded 7 in last inning. Leadoff batter was erased on a 4-6-3 double play off the bat of Cade Marquardt. Now Scott Marquardt takes a strike, and then missing off the outside corner is Glasser. 1 ball, 1 strike. Glasser spent a lot of this game working from the stretch. Base hit into left field just past the outstretched glove of Kuzeski. So the first 2 batters are on here in the bottom of the 6th.
Kimball Express, number 17, the first baseman, Zach Dingman.
Zach Dingman will step in here. Dingman lined a single, so that 7th spot in the order between Byer and Dingman are 2 for 2. Now we're going to get a timeout called. Might get potentially a pinch runner over at first base. That's where we're looking here, but maybe a pinch hitter. And Zach Dingman is going to retreat back to the dugout, and we're going to see big right-hander. It's number 34 for Kimball. So Adam Byer is now going to re-enter here in the 6th. And hit for Dingman. Go righty-righty here instead of righty-lefty. Pitch misses inside. 1 ball, no strikes. So a little seesaw teeter-totter. Oh, there's a ball drilled out into deep left field. It's going to go off the base of the fence, ricochet away from Schiller. 2 runs are going to score, and Byer is going to hold up at first with a long single. It produces 2 runs. I think Byer thought that ball was out of here. It's the way it ricocheted off of the base of the fence away from Schiller. There's no reason why Byer shouldn't have gotten a double out of that, but he was content to stay right there at first base, and maybe part of the reason he's not playing all that much is he just can't run well. He is limping his way back to the dugout, so a pinch hitter coming here, but 2 runs on the board for Kimball. So Noah Young will come in to run for Byer. Kimball is able to put a couple runs on the board here. A long single off the bat of Byer. Halfway up the left field fence. I thought that one, when it left the bat, may have had enough to ride out of here, but hit about halfway up of the 10-foot high fence out there, or 8-foot high maybe. Ricocheted away from Schiller. Allowed
Number 5, shortstop Brian Marquardt.
both runners to score. Pinch runner Cody Leiter or the pinch hitter Leiter and Scott Marquardt came around from first to score. Don't see that all that often, and why not add another thing to the list that you just don't see too often on a baseball field? A runner score from first on a single. That's what Scott Marquardt did, and did it without a throw and really without any sort of a play. They just wanted to get that ball back in the infield, and Byer was content to hold up at first. Now 1 ball, 2 strike count to Brian Marquardt as the curveball misses up and out of the zone. Another curveball misses up, so Glasser unhappy with himself, missing with those 2 offerings. First one was a waste pitch. I don't think he intended to do that with the second. So 10-2 ball game here. Bottom 6. Swinging a foul tip to the glove, held on to by Arlt. So that's out number 1, a strikeout of Brian Marquardt.
Number 3, Brooks Marquardt.
Now Brooks Marquardt will stride to the plate. Marquardt struck out and popped out to the shortstop. Fleck in his first 2 at-bats. He bats here in the bottom half of inning number 6. Pulls back from a fastball that rides in on him and takes it for a ball. Curveball catches the letters there. 1 ball, 1 strike. No reaction at all from Brooks Marquardt on that pitch. He just took a look at his bat, got resettled in the batter's box. Check swing. It's going to ricochet to first base. Throw back to second to try to double up the pinch runner, Noah Young. I think the shortstop Fleck might have forgot that he had to put the tag on, that it wasn't just a force. Stepping on first base on that check swing that had some wicked spin on it. It actually hit foul and then kicked back into fair territory. Alertly, Wendland stepped on the base and threw a 1-hopper down to Fleck covering at second. He scooped it, but didn't put the tag on the pinch runner. Noah Young thought that he maybe had a force play on there. Now that pitch in the dirt misses the glove of Arlt, but it looked like it ricocheted off the shin guard of our home plate umpire. Arlt is going to go out and tell Glasser, don't do that anymore. That guy's got to be our friend back there behind home plate. Don't do it to me, and certainly don't do it to him. I don't know if they got crossed up there or what the situation was, but Arlt took a little jog out to have a conversation with his pitcher. And now we're back and ready to go as Austin Ruley steps in. Ruley, 2 hits on the day. Did pop out to third with runners at second and third in his last at-bat in the 4th. Check swing. They say no, he did not go. They check with the base umpire. 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch is high. First base is open here. Matt Friesen on deck. Another right-handed batter. So Ruley, 2 for 3. They probably Just don't want to give him anything too good, and they miss again with that one. So it's a 4-pitch walk, but it does set up a force at any base, and now going to get a walk out to the mound from the manager of the Hutchinson Huskies, and it looks like thought he was just going to reach for the baseball from Glasser, but he doesn't do so. So just went out to have a word with his infield and Glasser. So obviously they must not have given the call to go ahead and pitch around Austin Ruley. With runners at second base. First base was open there. So 4-pitch walk to Ruley. We'll bring up Matt Friesen. So the meeting of the minds is over at the mound. And Friesen will step in, pops it up. Drifting back is Wendland. Backpedaling, reaches up and puts it away. So 1 pitch and 1 out after the visit to the mound. And Hutchinson gets out of the inning. They give up a couple of runs. It's 10-2. We'll head to the top half of inning number 7, and we'll come back here to Jack Ruhr Field in Miesville after this timeout on NSPN.TV.
All season long, you've gathered with friends, neighbors, and family at ball yards all across Minnesota.
Still going, gone! A home run!
Diamonds that define hundreds of communities. Town Ball binds together our passion for baseball and our hometowns. And on September 10th, the cornerstone of Minnesota baseball, Target Field, will host a party for all those who play, watch, and support Town Ball. The Twins host the Guardians at 6:10 p.m. Prior to the game, the champions will be honored in a ceremony at Town Ball Tavern, and all Town Ballers will be invited down to the field for a special pregame ceremony. Wear your team colors and enjoy a special night at Target Field.
Field Scallon back, has it measured. That's it! Air Freight Unlimited, your Class A state champions.
For tickets to the Minnesota Twins Tip of the Cap to Town Ball on September 10th, visit twinsbaseball.com/townball.
Your attention please. In the pitch for the Kimball Express. Number 15, Craig Meyer.
Craig Meyer in the pitch for Kimball.
Cody Leiter has moved to right field, and number 8, Scott Marquardt, is now at first base for the Express.
Cody Leiter, after pinch running and scoring a run, will go out to right field. That brings Scott Marquardt in from right field to first base. So Scott Marquardt's been all over the field defensively today. Third base, right field, now first base. And Tyler Schiller will step in to face the new pitcher, Craig Meyer, Melrose High School and North Dakota State University. For Craig Meyer, he'll face Schiller, who scored 3 runs on the day. 1 for 1, 2 walks, hit by a pitch, and singled in the 2-run 5th inning and scored a run. 2 balls and no strikes now. 3-0 to Schiller. Their scoreboard operator a little slow on the uptake here. Had just 1 ball up there. 4-pitch walk to Schiller to start the inning. And Jake Wendland will step in.
Coming to the plate for the Hutchinson
Big day at the plate for Jake Wendland.
Jake Wendland.
Grand slam home run in the second. Bases loaded walk in the fifth. So 5 RBIs on the day here for Jake Wendland, driven in half of the runs scored by the Hutchinson Huskies here in this one, and they jumped all over the Kimball Express early and often here in this one. 2 runs in the first, 6 in the second, built an 8-0 lead, got it up to 10-0 at one point before Kimball finally answered with 2 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. A booming single off the bat of Adam Byer. And 2 balls and 1 strike now as Meyer finally finds the strike zone after missing 6 consecutive. Wendland took that one. Rolls this one over to second. Possible double play. Johnson for 1. Safe at first. So it was a chopper. Tough to turn that one. Matt Friesen with a good toss over to Ben Johnson. It was actually a fairly close play at second base with Schiller. So it's a fielder's choice for Wendland. He'll take over at first base. Marcus Hahn will step in. Hahn 1 for 3, 12 hits on the board for Kimball. 12 hits for Hutchinson, 7 for Kimball. Curveball is in the dirt to Hahn. Hahn has been hit by a pitch, doubled in the 4th leading off, but was stranded there as Kimball executed the 5-2-3 double play to get out of that inning unscathed. Hahn swing and a miss. Even the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Hahn, a jackrabbit from South Dakota State after playing high school ball in Hutchinson. That one ricochets off of the foot over towards the dugout of Cade Marquardt. He'll slide and try to throw it behind Wendland, thinking that Wendland might be trying to go a little too far, as that ball ricocheted off of the right leg of Cade Marquardt, headed over towards the Kimball dugout. He slid to keep it from going into the dugout. Came up and fired it to second base, but alertly Jake Wendland was back safely to the base. And it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count to Marcus Hahn. Hard ground ball, fair over the third base bag. This is going to score a run. Hahn around first. He's digging for second, and he'll slide in with his second double of the game. Hard ground ball right over the third base bag. And Hahn drives in Jake Wendland. First RBI of the game for Hahn. And it is now 11-2.
Now batting for the Huskies, third baseman number 11, Zach Kazeski.
Zach Kazeski. Step in, Kazeski a single and a double in the first and the second, but since then grounded out the third and then grounded into a fielder's choice. They'll pretty much let Hahn have as big a lead as he wants out there at second base as a strike called on the outside corner to Kazeski. Meyer from the stretch just misses off the outside corner there. Even the count now, 1 ball, 1 strike. 11 runs, 13 hits for Hutchinson. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Express. Curveball grounded to third. It's scooped up there by Brian Marquardt. His throw is not in time to get a hustling Zach Kazeski, so Marquardt went down to field that ball,
Coming
and
to the plate for the Hutchinson Huskies.
the time that it took him to get up,
Glasser.
Kuzeski was hustling, and now the throwback from the first baseman over the head of the pitcher Meyer, and it's going to allow the runners to move up, and the umpires are going to say that there was no timeout called, that the ball was live. Now they'll have a conversation with our base umpire to see if he granted time at all to the first baseman, Scott Marquardt. And they're going to say no, that was a live ball. So charge and error to Scott Marquardt with the throwback to the pitcher Meyer. It went all the way over to the Hutchinson dugout, and alertly Hahn and Kuzeski each moved up a base, and Lane Glasser now steps infield in for Kimball. Strike on the outside corner to Glasser. Glasser, 3 hits in the game, 2 RBIs. Looking to pick up another 1 or at least 2 here. At least 1, maybe 2. Curveball is in the dirt, blocked nicely by Cade Marquardt. Meyer went to the breaking ball there, ahead in the count, 0-1. Missed it. Relied on his catcher, Cade Marquardt, to block it. There's a fly ball to deep left field, but well foul.
Thanks for returning all foul balls to the concession stand.
1 ball and 2 strikes as Glasser got way out in front of that off-speed pitch from Craig Meyer. And it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count here to the number 7 hitter in the order, Lane Glasser. Pitch misses inside again. Cade Marquardt's got to go down and block that one. So confidently taking that pitch was Lane Glasser. Obviously seeing the ball very well out of the hand of Meyer, and a timeout called by Marquardt. This time the umpire does let us know that it was the catcher Marquardt who requested the time. Infield in here for Kimball, trying to cut off this run. Pitch misses away. Full count now. 3-2. So let's see with first base open if Meyer doesn't give in to Glasser here. Glasser 3 hits. Cody Arlt, the on-deck hitter, is 1 for 2 with 2 walks and a strikeout. Popped up over towards the Hutchinson dugout, and giving chase is Cade Marquardt, but it's out of play.
Take it back for a prize.
So Glasser again got well out in front of that offering from Craig Meyer. Meyer also kind of came over and gave chase. It was a high pop-up. Again, very little wind blowing right now, so not affecting that ball hardly at all. That one just was targeted for just over the top of that out-of-play fence down this third base line here. Now Glasser awaits the 3-2 offering. Ground ball to third. It gets through the third baseman, Brian Marquardt, into left field. Let's see what they're going to charge that one. But with the throw being just tossed back into the third baseman, Marquardt, taking second base, alertly was Glasser. So they're going to give a hit to Lane Glasser, his 4th hit of the game.
Batting for the Huskies.
Drives in his 3rd run. The runner's now at 2nd and 3rd. And Arlt steps in. Pitch misses, low and away. Two more runs on the board for Hutchinson. looking to add even more here. So we're going to foul back and out of play from Arlt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners at second and third. Infield remains in. That probably would have been more of a routine ground ball. Chopper to short. They're going to hold the runner at third. Johnson checks the runner and throws out Arlt. So 6-3 is the put out on the ground out. And Adam Katzenmeyer, the second baseman, will step in. Katzenmeyer, one of just 2 Hutchinson Huskies without a base hit in this one. 3 hits for Jaden Fleck. And chopper foul just wide of the bag at third. Tyler Scheller has just 1 hit but walked 3 times and scored 3 runs. 1 hit for Jake Wendland, but pretty big one. It was a grand slam home run. 2 doubles for Marcus Hahn. 3 hits for Zach Kuzeski. Swing and a miss by Katzenmeyer. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Katzenmeyer, Hutchinson High School. No college listed for Katzenmeyer. So runners at second and third. 2 away here. Lines one foul. Having to duck out of the way over there at third base was Kuzeski. As Katzenmeyer took that hanging breaking ball and pulled it hard down the third base line, but well foul as Kuzeski smartly leads off in foul territory. Don't want to get hit by a batted ball. Kuzeski lifts one high in the air, drifting over, and again just over the fence, this time down the first base line.
Thanks for bringing the ball back to the concession stand. Don't forget to claim your prize.
So we stay here at no balls and 2 strikes. Kuzeski trying to pick up a couple of runners here after Cody Arlt grounded out to short with the infield in. That cut off the run at home plate. And that one's in the dirt. Cade Marquardt's got to go down and block that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Working from the stretch with the runners at second and third is Meyer. And that pitch misses low and away. Even the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Katzenmeyer grounded into a double play, flew out to right, grounded out to third, did reach base on an air and scored a run, and now a curveball just stays right in and hits him. So second time on base, but really it's been the 9 hitter in the order and the top of the order here. Matt Piakowski
Number 4, Matt Piakowski
is 0 for 5. Try to break out of this a little bit. We'll have a quick trip to the mound just to maybe try to settle down the young pitcher Meyer. Obviously was not trying to hit Katzenmeyer with that pitch, but it was a curveball that just really didn't curve. And top of the order with Piakowski. Still working from the stretch is Meyer. Strike 1 on the outside corner. Meyer trying to get out of this, just giving up the 2 runs. That one's in the dirt. Markwart goes down and blocks that one. Nice. Cade. Even the count here. The ball and a strike. Our next set of players and fans anxiously awaiting an opportunity to get on the field. The last of our Class C opening round games. We do have to finish up a Class B game that got delayed by rain on Friday night. After that one, fly ball to right field, and that one's going to be hauled in out there by Cody Leiter. So that'll do it. So at the top of the order, Matt Piakowski, 0 for 6 on the day, but certainly been picked up by his teammates. 12-2 as we head to the bottom half of inning number 7. Kimball will need a run to keep this alive. We'll be back with the action for you after this timeout. Neighborhood Sports Network.
You should feel good about where you and your money are headed. We can help you build a better relationship with your money, starting with our free Simply Better checking account. When you open an account, you'll also receive a free gift. Get started today. Think Bank. Meet your money.
Now pitching for the Hutchinson Huskies, draftee number 10, John Weber. Moving off the bottom of the 7th for the Kimball Express.
All right, so new pitcher in the game.
Markwart.
John Weber, drafted pitcher from the Buffalo Bulldogs, Buffalo High School, Benedictine College. The left-hander will come in and face 3, 4, and 5. Markwart, Johnson, and Leiter. Ground ball up the middle for a base hit for Cade Markwart. Kimball needs a run to stay alive in this one. They're down by 10 here. Bottom half of 7 inning.
Kimball Express, number 13, Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson steps in. 0 for 3 for Johnson. He was the starting pitcher in this one and really struggled. Give up 8 runs in 2 innings. Didn't help himself by making a poor decision and a poor throw on a bunt early on. That really kind of stemmed the momentum. Ground ball to short. On the second for 1. First in time for the double play. No argument from Kimball there. 6-4-3 double play. Fleck to Katzenmeyer, back to Wendland.
Batting for the Kimball Express.
And Johnson is doubled up.
Cody Leiter.
We'll be up to Cody Leiter here. Down by 10 here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Kimball needs to get something going here. They got a leadoff single, but erased with a double play as the Buffalo Bulldog John Weber looks to close this one out for Hutchinson. 6 strong innings for Lane Glasser. Fly ball, left center field, drifting over is Hahn. He calls for it, puts it away, and that will do it. The 10-run rule is invoked here. 12-2. The Hutchinson Huskies dispatch the Kimball Express. They jumped all over Kimball early in this one. 2 runs in the first, 6 in the second. To go up 8-0 and scratched out a couple of runs in the top of the 7th, get a double play in the bottom half of the inning to hang another 0 on Kimball, and we'll walk out of here 12-2 victors over the Kimball Express, and they will move on to play the Bluffton Braves next Saturday at 1:30 in Faribault. So, interesting choice for player of the game here. You got Jake Wedlin with a grand slam home run and 5 RBIs, but you also have Lane Glasser, who pitched 6 strong innings, gives up just 2 runs, 4 hits in the game for Glasser, and 3 RBIs. So let's see who the committee comes up with. We'll have a brief word from the player of the game here, and then we'll wrap this one up for you.
Number 10 from the take on Cleveland. Join the celebration at Target Field. Go to twinsbaseball.com/townhall. Now let's go down to the field to Abby with today's player of the game.
They search for the player of the game here. And it looks like it's going to be Lane Glasser, who is going to be the player of the game of this one.
We are pleased to present the player of the game on behalf of our corporate sponsors, Rawlings, MaxBat, and Amy Electronics, to Lane Glasser of Hutchinson Huskies. You had 6 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, and only 2 runs scored. 4 of 5 with 3 RBIs. Your team came with bat swinging, and I think the scoreboard kind of says the rest. Any thoughts?
Yeah, pitching's easy when you score 12 runs, so if we do that every time, it's going to be a good run.
Well, good luck in the rest of the tournament, and congratulations.
Congratulations to the Hutchinson Huskies.
All right, so there you hear from our player of the game, Lane Glasser. 6 strong innings. You heard it, 6 strikeouts, just 2 runs allowed. He got some help from his teammate, Jake Wedlin, a grand slam home run that really blew this one open. It was a 3-0 game at that point, and with one swing of the bat, it was 7-0, and Hutchinson just cruised from there and closed out a 12-2, 7-inning, 10-run rule victory over the Kimball Express, and will move on in this state tournament. They will take on the top seed Bluffton Braves out of Region 14 next Saturday. So 1 game left to go here at Miesville, and we will have our field of 32 set based on the results from Faribault and Dundas. So our next game here on tap in Miesville will feature Richmond, the Royals, taking on the Hinckley Knights. So they'll get the field prepared for that one. And as per usual, every pitch of every game here in the Class C state tournament, along with the Class B and Class A tournaments, are brought to you on the Neighborhood Sports Network. It was our privilege and honor to bring you this one today. It was all about the Hutchinson Huskies early and often. They jumped out to an 8-0 second inning lead and then stretched that out to a 12-2 7-inning 10-run rule victory over Kimball. So for our production crew back at the studio and camera person Lynn Osterman, this has been Ron Osterman calling from Jack Ruhr Field in Miesville. Until we talk to you next time, have a wonderful afternoon.
Baseball. It's America's pastime and Minnesota's passion. The all-new Neighborhood Sports Network, in partnership with the Minnesota Baseball Association, brings you coverage of the 2022 State Amateur Baseball Tournament. Coverage of this great Minnesota tradition is proudly brought to you by The Urgency Room, fast, flexible care. McDonald's, owners and operators of Minnesota and Western Wisconsin. Find your golden opportunity at mcdonalds.com/careers. Xfinity, a better way to watch. Think Bank, meet your money. The Star Tribune, your home for the best prep coverage. And by the Minnesota Twins. Get tickets for Town Ball Night at Target Field on September 10th. Live coverage throughout the Town Ball tourney can be seen right here on the Neighborhood Sports Network. That's NSPN.TV. Welcome to the neighborhood. Now, let's get out to the ballpark.